Buffalo's sitting at a 6-3 record. Indianapolis is sitting at a 5-5 record. And you would immediately assume that Buffalo has the edge because, look, you have Josh Allen in that dynamic offense to go along with Von Diggs, Cole Beasley, and Emmanuel Sanders. Then you combine that with the fact that they have a great defense. And I mean a great defense. The Buffalo Bills are one of the most well-rounded units in the NFL, and it's not even close. But it is quite striking that the Buffalo Bills, the AFC East leaders, they lost to a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 10. Excuse me, not in Week 10, in Week 9. That was one of the worst losses that I've seen the entire season from any team. And the fact that the Bills had a performance like that against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where they only scored 6 points, it was quite shocking for me to actually see that happen in real time. Granted, they did follow it up with a huge 40-point bomb that they put on the Jets in Week 10. And that was something that Kevin and I had talked about. We thought that the Bills were going to be able to put up 40 against the Jets, and they went out and did it. So the Bills are back on the win column to go along with Indianapolis, and Indianapolis has definitely been winning of late as well. So to focus on the game, I have to favor the Bills in this one. And I think the reason why I'm going to favor them over Indianapolis in this matchup is because it's like I said, they're one of the most well-rounded units that the NFL has to offer. I think the biggest matchup that I'm going to be watching with Buffalo in this one is if they're able to hold up against that Indianapolis offense. Because when you look at the matchup on paper, Indianapolis has one of the best running backs in the NFL at this current moment in time with Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor, when he gets his opportunities, has been making the most of it. He has been consistently putting up over 100 yards rushing in multiple games, and he's actually been on a pretty good stretch of late where he's dominated the run game for Indianapolis. But this is where like the Kevin part comes in for me. It comes down to Frank Reich and the play calling. And if Indianapolis does not have the play calling right throughout this game, where if they actually have success with Jonathan Taylor, but they move away from that and they try to get Carson Wentz more involved in the game, try to get him to carry that offense, I don't think it's going to be a winning formula against Buffalo. Buffalo's defense is stout. And even though that they have been good throughout the entirety of the year, we have seen games where that Buffalo run defense has been exposed. Specifically in that matchup against the Tennessee Titans a few weeks back when Derrick Henry absolutely gashed them for damn near 150 yards rushing. And that was a game that the Buffalo Bills ended up losing on the road. So if you're looking at it from Indianapolis' perspective, run the ball with Jonathan Taylor. Try to see if you can get some run lanes for him. See if you can try to expose that Buffalo run defense. It's going to give you a shot. But I can't have faith in Frank Reich in this one. I don't know why, but it just seems like the play calling for Indianapolis this year has been spotty. If Kevin were here, he'd probably think that spotty is an understatement. But I like where Buffalo is going. Granted, I know they had that loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars a couple weeks back, but I like the way that they rebounded in that game against the Jets where they put up over 40 points. And I think in this one, I don't think they're going to score 40 points against Indianapolis. I think they will be able to crack 30 in this one. I think they'll crack the low end of 30. I think they'll score like 31 in this game. But Indianapolis, I just don't have faith in Frank Reich being able to call the game properly, because we've seen it multiple times this year when Jonathan Taylor really has it going. They tend to shy away from him, whether it's in the first half or the second half. Honestly, it could be vice versa. And Carson tries to get more involved in the offense, and he's made some bad decisions. There have been multiple times where he's made some game-losing decisions with just poor throws. And Kevin's even mentioned a couple times where he's throwing the ball left-handed, and they almost end up in interceptions. In fact, in one game against the Tennessee Titans, it actually ended up in a pick six when he threw it left-handed. So, Indianapolis, I think that they're a team on the rise. You know, their defense, I think, is solid. but the offense has just been too inconsistent for my taste. And I think that's really going to be the downfall in this one. It really comes down to play calling in this one with Indianapolis, and it's been shaky. And that's the reason why I'm picking against them. I'm going to say Buffalo wins this one by 7 points. I think they win this one by the score of 31-24. And with that result, Buffalo moves to 7-3 on the season. Indianapolis goes back under 500 with a 5-6 record.